Or at least someone's telling me.
I'm just going by looks, and she doesn't look 38. You know what I mean? She looks like she's 22. No.
I'm about to say, keep on drinking, buddy.
All right. No, I don't know about 30s. Boy, somebody should get on a Wikipedia or something like that, and somebody in the chat room will do that. Somebody says 41. I don't know. I would say 40s, somewhere in the 40s, maybe getting up towards 50. I don't know. She looks old, man. She looks, plus the makeup.
She was born 1968. She was born April 16th.
All right, so that'd be 41, right?
Yep.
68, 78, 88, 98, yeah. So
41 years old.
All right. Not bad. 41. She actually, I've seen 40-year-olds look better than that. Whatever. Where are we going with this? I don't know.
I don't know. I was just simply saying.
She's 41, Jose. She's 41. No.
Well, good for her. She's gonna go home.
Well, she is one hot-looking 41-year-old. That's for damn sure, my man. No doubt about it.
Excuse me. Her legacy of excuse me will always live.
Yeah, right. Oh, always, man. And I'm sure the night she returns, that'll be the first words out of her mouth. So.
Absolutely.
All right, so that's the Vicky Guerrero. It's a mutual parting, and just basically spend some time at home with the kids. Now we jump into Umaga, which we're going to talk about here for about 5 minutes, and then I promise you guys I'm going to get to every live phone call tonight without a doubt. We're not going.
I'm in no rush either. We go over 9 o'clock. We go over 9 o'clock.
All right, no doubt. Sounds good to me because I want to get all these live phone calls in tonight before we go off the air. So the Umaga deal. This one is a little bit more complicated. He worked the pay-per-view on Sunday night against CM Punk. They worked the Samoan strap match, and he was informed of the release on Monday, not Sunday after the pay-per-view. The release was on Monday when he arrived at Monday Night Raw, which we haven't put up on the website yet. And he was at Monday Night Raw. I know he's a SmackDown star, but he was at Raw on Monday, and that's where he was informed of the release. That leads me to believe that something happened either Sunday night or there was some testing. There's been testing in recent weeks. He claims to friends that he's quit the company.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's his claims. Here's the deal people have with that. The guy was just out with an injury and returned not too long ago, just a few weeks back. Came back to SmackDown, worked extremely hard, was even down at FCW for some of their TV tapings in recent months. So he worked hard to get back to the company, and they brought him back. This was maybe his second match back? Well, second pay-per-view match, I believe. Maybe even first pay-per-view match back from his injury. But came back and was released. He claims that he was released. I just don't. It doesn't make sense to me for him to train so hard to come back and then say, I quit. Seems to me like it was, I've heard wellness, and I can say that on this one. We'll have to wait and see here in the next few days. And here's another interesting bit is if they release a guy, if a guy fails a wellness test, and then they release him, and they put that he's released up on the company website, does that count as them, basically saying, hey, if we fire this guy, we don't have to put a notice out to make our company look bad that one of our wrestlers failed a wellness test?
I think the image, I personally think, and I know we chatted this briefly online, is if it was a wellness issue, they would have said it. I mean, they told their stockholders that if anyone gets caught, that their dismissal will be placed online, and then on top of that, they also use an independent company to give you the results. So it's kind of there's just too many people. They hand in the cookie jar to know that this dude got he failed his policy, and then of course he got let go. I think if he did fail it, the WWE would have acknowledged it.
Here's the deal with that though: is Randy Orton failed the drug test last year at some point, and I believe it was last year.
Well, this was before, though. This is before they tightened up the policy and they've, put some new elements in.
Well, they had him work the pay-per-view. And then came out the next day and announced it on the website that he had been suspended for a wellness policy.
Right. Because they're also not going to damage their a pay-per-view match that they've promoted and marketed so much.
Well, then that goes against their policy. If you fail a drug test, you should be suspended right then, right there. I don't care if you have
I don't know. We don't know what the policy the wording on the policy is.
Well, the wording on the policy is that anybody that fails a drug test is automatically suspended right then and there. The first time is 30 days, the second time is 60 days, the third time you're out. If that is the case, and he was suspended, if Randy Orton failed the drug test, which he did, and then he went and then he worked the pay-per-view, and then they announced the next day after the pay-per-view, that clearly shows you that WWE has some sort of power over the testing. I know it's done by an independent company, Let's keep in mind here, Vince is the top guy. Vince is the guy that initiated this testing policy. They can work around this,
of course,
however they want to.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the bottom line. The reality is, if they wanted to hide it, me personally, I just felt that there had to be something else that's beside the policy. Maybe there is. Maybe there was. I mean, the timing is kind of suspicious, though. I mean, I can understand the philosophy of, the drug test happened not too long ago, within 48 hours, and dude gets fired out of nowhere who just worked a pay-per-view a night before. It's just there was, I think, probably a lot more element behind it.
I believe there's some shady business that goes on when it comes.
Oh, no doubt. That's wrestling. It's one of the reasons why I never really wanted to work for the WWE. And there was plenty of times that I could have had the opportunity to work for them, but the reality is, I'd rather just see the parade outside than rather be part of it. Yeah,
and it's just, I don't know. I think we're going to have more details on the Umaga situation, but I can tell you that there's a lot of people within that company that feel that it was a wellness policy violation that got him fired, and I believe this would have been strike 2 for him. I don't think it was strike 3, but I think it was strike 2.
Yeah, I think it was strike 2. I think after all, like Matt Stryker and stuff like that, Chavo, I think when all those guys kind of got pointed out, I think that's when he was suspended the first time. And
we're gonna have to wait and see what happens with this. But something definitely occurred after the pay-per-view on Sunday night and into Monday, whether they got tests back and decided to release him after those tests were revealed, or what the actual situation is that led to the release. We're really, really not sure about just yet, but I would stay tuned to the websites here in the next few days, as we hope to get more information on that. But that between him and Mr. Kennedy, 2 big releases. You know what I mean? Vicky Guerrero, another one. Even though it doesn't, she was a top heel. You got to remember that. You know what I mean? So it was kind of, those 3 kind of took you by surprise. And like I said at the beginning of the show, man, when it rains, it pours. With news, with releases, with this and that. I don't think we're done with the releases just yet. And possibly later tonight, not later tonight, but later this week, wouldn't surprise me with massive drug testing at Raw last night and SCW last week as well. That we'll see some names pop up here on WZROnline.com if they are true to their word and announce those that failed wellness policy tests. So we'll have to wait and see. Stay tuned later this week. I think it's going to be an interesting week, to say the least, with more on the Umaga story. Kennedy, like we said, released last week, and Vicky Guerrero, and probably some more releases or suspensions coming here in the next few weeks. And it was interesting that the creative team was told to keep some guys off Raw next week. Leads you to believe that maybe there are suspensions or upcoming releases. I had heard 6 was the official number, and that was a few weeks back. But it could be more than that, could be less than that. We'll have to wait and see later this week. So that's the gist of it. Umaga and Vicky Guerrero. We kind of talked about Batista, and in his situation. Kennedy, we talked about last week. We ran down Extreme Rules. We got through Monday Night Raw. We did some chat shout-outs, right? What do you think? Live phone calls now?
I like that idea.
All right, I like it. Let's see what we can pull up here. Let me give out the number one more time. It's 724-444-7444. Call ID number is 30273, followed by the pound key. You get to our live chat room at WZROnline.com /chat. And that's it. We have a phone call. Outlaws from the chat room. You're live on WZR Radio. Oops, not yet. He's coming. See what happens, man, when you're on a live show and things screw up. There's nothing you can do about it.